Don't you die on me, damn it!
He's dropping! Intubate, now!
Clear!
No response. Hit him again!
Clear!
You've been in a coma for quite some time. Yes, yes, I know. You would like to know how long. I'm afraid it's been 9 years.
Okay, have time to go.
What happened to the woman?
The woman? We gave her a light. She took the short way down.
Who are you?
Who am I? I've been watching over you for 9 years. You can call me Ishmael.
What the hell is going on?
Well, the good news is, you're in the land of the living. Bad news? The world wants you dead. On your feet, soldier. The whole place is coming down. Need a little pick-me-up? Okay. Here. Nothing like a little digoxin to get you back in the game. Come on! Drug's not working. We're getting out of here. Move it. Let's take the stairs.
emergency stairs, come on. This way, hurry.
Under total Soviet control. Miller's been captive for 10 days. Not much time left.
Weather will clear shortly.
Storm's passing.
Getting used to it? After 9 years on ice, the solo infiltration of the Soviet main ground forces should be the perfect warm-up.
Normally there would be a tutorial here, but we'll go ahead and skip that for today.
He can't have much left in him. I give him 3 days, tops. If we fail, and he dies, we lose our chance of revenge. But we need more intel. If you just go charging into Doandehar, you'll be putting both your lives at risk. See what you can find out first. The Soviets have other outposts, not just the one you saw. Afghanistan is a big place. I expect you'll become quite familiar with those binoculars as you plan your next move. How and where you make it, well, that's up to you. From here on out, you're on your own. You're a legend in the eyes of those who live on the battlefield. That's why you have to handle this mission yourself. Put those 9 years behind you, and return as Big Boss. That's how Koss would want it. I'll be sending additional intel by radio. Stay sharp. Not one of Miller's bodyguards survived. And they were good. All we found on the scene were their corpses and knees. You'll be missing them. And you're his only hope of getting them back. Now go! Let the legend come back to life.
Alright, now we've transitioned seamlessly from cutscene into gameplay, and everything you're seeing today is running at 1080p, 60 frames per second on a PlayStation 4. As you heard during the cutscene, our mission here is to rescue Miller, but we're going to show you a shortened version of that mission today, prepared just for E3, to show you as much as we can in the amount of time that we have. So to start with, let's go ahead and open up our iDroid. And we see here our target area. But before we charge in, we should probably scout out the area, so we'll go ahead and mark a vantage point on our map here.
Marker placed.
That we can use to scout things out. And yes, your horse will do this in the game from time to time, but we'll just ignore that and move on. Now, as you know, Phantom Pain is an open world game. It's roughly 200 times the size of Ground Zeroes, and we're just going to show you a small glimpse of that today to give you a taste of the gameplay. It is a wide open world, as you can see. A lot of things to do, a lot of places to explore. It's also a living world populated by wildlife, and up ahead you can see some sheep on the road here. And the landscape is also dotted by human settlements, as you can see up and to the right. Alright, now you notice the background music has changed. It's gotten a little tense. That indicates danger nearby. So let's go ahead and take a look with our binoculars. And here we have a couple enemies, so we'll go ahead and mark them. Then we'll make our approach. That said, if we're up on a horse like this, it's easy to be spotted. So we'll use one of Snake's new abilities. You can actually hang off the side of the horse and lower your profile. And get close enough for the shot. Alright, his buddy did notice that he went down, so we're going to use that to our advantage now. See if we can sneak up behind him. And hold this guy up. Alright, now that we have him held up, we can interrogate him, get some info.
Spit it out.
And he's telling us where we can find a container with raw materials, so we'll check that out in a bit. But first, let's go ahead and get rid of these guys. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is the Fulton recovery system. Players who have played Peace Walker should be familiar with this system. Those guys are going to head back to Mother Base. And it looks like we have a curious visitor here as well. Perhaps he wants to go back to Mother Base too, so let's go ahead and help him out here. Alright, and he's down. So let's go ahead and attach the Fulton. And off he goes. Alright, then we'll check our map, and we see the container here that the guy was talking about. So we'll check that out. It's not too far out of our way. Note that the guys we Fulton back there will head back to Mother Base and become a part of your army, and you can assign them to various groups within Mother Base to do tasks for you. And as for the sheep, I'm sure we can figure something out. Alright, so here we have the container, and we see the guy here. There's a guy guarding it, so we'll approach carefully here. Now, we did mark our enemies, so you can see him through objects such as this wall. And it doesn't look like he's planning to go anywhere anytime soon, so we'll go ahead and lure him out. And this is one of Snake's new abilities. The knock is back in Phantom Pain. You can now perform this using your prosthetic limb, which means you don't have to be next to a wall. So that said, if you are next to a wall, you can perform some pretty brutal CQC, like so. And peeking out from behind a wall and shooting enemies is now faster and smoother than it was in Ground Zeroes. So we'll go ahead and get rid of these guys. And see if we can now recover the container. Alright, we gotta be sure to get off the container quickly there. If we were on the container when it went up, we actually would have been Fultoned along with it and gone back to Mother Base, which is a technique you may want to use from time to time, but of course that does abort the mission, so we don't want to do that for today's demonstration. Alright, so we'll move on. And you may have noticed also there was a weather report that came in over our iDroid, saying that there's a sandstorm nearby, and if you look up at the sky you can see that it has gotten a little gray now, and we see some sand kicking up here. Sandstorm is just one example of the dynamic weather that we have in Phantom Pain. The weather will evolve throughout the day. And during a sandstorm, of course, visibility is low, which means that enemies will have a hard time seeing you, but in turn, you also have a hard time seeing where you're going, so you have to be careful as you navigate through the landscape. Alright, there may be guys like this in hiding, and we've gone ahead and taken him out. Now you could Fulton this guy if you wanted to, but we won't do that today because of the sandstorm. The Fulton is influenced by weather, and during high wind conditions it can actually be blown off course, and if that happens, the guy you're Fultoning could end up dying, so we don't want to do that. As I mentioned, visibility is low, but since we marked our target, we can see where we're heading, so we'll just head towards the marker on screen.
The weather will clear shortly.
Now our iDroid is telling us that the weather is clearing and the 4 guys we Fultoned earlier have made it back to base. But before we move on, you notice there's something shining beneath this tree. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so raw diamonds. These raw diamonds are an example of raw materials that you can gather around the map. These are scattered throughout the landscape. And when you pick them up, they get sent back to Mother Base and add to your GMP. GMP being the currency in Phantom Pain, which you can use to upgrade your base and also develop new items and equipment. Alright, so now we're at a vantage point that we set earlier, and off in the distance you can see our target in yellow there. So in there we should be able to get info regarding Miller's whereabouts. So let's go ahead and take a look using our binoculars. We see the target here, and there are some enemies, so we'll go ahead and mark them. Okay, so we've gone ahead and marked the enemies that we can see. That said, we don't know if there may be more enemies in hiding in buildings or around corners. So let's call upon Mother Base to help us out here. Now Mother Base, there's an intel unit that can scout things out for us. And what you see in the background here is actually Mother Base, so all the guys we Fultoned earlier get sent back here. And if we take a look at our staff list, you see that we have 4 new members added to the bottom here. So we'll go ahead and assign one of these guys to our intel unit. Note also that the UI is 3-dimensional, so you can move it around like so by moving the controller.
Staff assignment
Alright,
complete.
so he's in the intel unit now, and he'll scout out some info for us.
Enemy presence detected.
And there's his report. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map. Now you'll notice these red areas here, these indicate anticipated enemy locations. So we'll go ahead and mark those.
Marker placed. Marker placed.
And take a look with our binoculars. And sure enough, you see enemies entering these areas, so we'll go ahead and mark them as well. Okay, so we've gone ahead and marked all the enemies here, and note that the base is well guarded, so it might not be a good idea to sneak in at this time. We could try, but it'd be very difficult. So in this kind of situation, it might actually be useful to wait until the guards change shifts. And you could do that just by sitting here waiting for a very long time. But we also have an item that comes in handy in situations like this, and we call it the Phantom Cigar. The Phantom Cigar is an e-cigar that Snake can smoke to help pass the time. You can start fast-forwarding time and stop whenever you like. Keep in mind that it is an e-cigar, so it produces no ash, and the smoke you see on screen is actually a hologram. Now looking up at the sky, you see we have real-time cloud simulation, all this being done in real time, and you see also the sun and moon do move through the sky realistically, and shadows from vegetation is cast realistically on the ground, all thanks to the power of the Fox engine.
Sun will set shortly.
Now if we pan over to the right, you can also see that the enemies we marked earlier are changing shifts depending on the time of day. And if we look at our map, we see these blue triangles here, which indicate enemies who are sleeping. So depending on the time of day, if enemies are off their shift, they may be sleeping, and you can use that to your advantage as you plan your infiltration route. Alright, so we'll go ahead and stop here. Again, we could stop at any time. And honestly, it probably would be best to sneak in during night, so that you have darkness to provide cover. But today we want to make sure you see what's going on, so we'll go in during the day. And to help us out, we'll go ahead and place some markers here. Now these markers will serve as waypoints as we sneak through the base and make sure we don't get lost on our way to the target.
Marker placed.
Okay, so we've gone ahead and set our infiltration route. That said, it is broad daylight, so it'll be hard to sneak through the base at this point in time. So let's go ahead and once again call upon Mother Base for some help. In Mother Base you have an R&D unit, and these guys can help you out by developing new types of items and equipment. So for today, let's go ahead and have them develop the ultimate in stealth technology, which, as every Metal Gear fan knows, is the cardboard box. So we'll go ahead and place that order, and have it dropped to our location. There it is. So we'll go ahead and open up this box. And now we have our customized special edition Diamond Dogs box. We're ready to go. So we'll go ahead and head down the slope here. Keep in mind that this is just one possible approach. Phantom Pain is an open world game, meaning you can approach targets from any angle, any direction. This is just one possibility that we're showing you here today. Right, and as we make our way out here to the open, let's go ahead and try out our new cardboard box. Right, now players who have played Metal Gear before are obviously familiar with the cardboard box, but it has been upgraded for Phantom Pain with some new abilities, such as the ability to pop up, take guys out, and quickly duck back into the box. And you can now do all of this without having to equip and unequip the box. You can also use the Fulton from within the box. And it looks like we have another enemy behind us, so let's go ahead and sneak up on this guy. Hold him up. And send him on his way. Alright, up ahead we see a guy who could be a problem. We could trank him, but let's try something different. In Mother Base we have a support unit that can provide supply drops. Supply drops are useful for providing items and ammunition, but you can also use them in some pretty creative ways, and we'll show you one example of that here. If you call a supply drop right onto an enemy location, you can do this. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we knocked the guy out and got some ammo. 2 birds with 1 stone. Just go ahead and collect that.
You have arrived at your destination.
And move on. Okay, we hit our next marker, and that set up ahead, it looks like the way is pretty well guarded, so let's go ahead and take a detour through this building, sneak around that guy. And it looks like we've stumbled upon a guard here who's just coming off of his shift, going to sleep. So let's go ahead and use that to our advantage. There's no need for us to engage him as long as we're quiet and proceed carefully here. He shouldn't wake up and he's no threat to us. We'll slowly make our way to the door. Some CQC to take this guy out. And now that we're back in the open again, let's go ahead and put our box back on. Alright, it looks like someone may have noticed our box moving, which is not a good thing. Obviously that's a bit suspicious, so he'll probably check it out. But we do have something in TPP that can help you in this situation. You can actually jump out the side of the box, like so. And this is actually a very useful technique, because as long as the enemy does not see you jumping out of the box, he will come to investigate, and you can actually use the box as a decoy as you sneak around the side of the building here. Now, previously we showed you how you can use the Fulton system to Fulton people as well as containers. You can also use the Fulton to Fulton vehicles. So let's go ahead and recover this vehicle here from Mother Base. That said, you do need to be careful, because you never know if there are guys hiding behind objects. So, just get rid of this guy, and make sure the coast is clear. Alright, we got one more guy here, so let's go ahead and hide. Dumpster here looks good. And the dumpster is just one example of various objects that are scattered around the stage that you can use to hide. And also, as you can see, once enemies are close, you can also use a specialized form of CQC to quickly take them out and stash them away. Alright, we've hit our next marker now, so we'll go ahead and proceed forward. And that yellow marker there on the second floor of the building is our target. We'll make our way there carefully. Be careful not to be spotted.
You have arrived at your destination.
And there's a guy here, so we'll keep an eye on him as we make our way. Oh, and somebody to our right may have spotted something, so let's take cover down here in the ditch and lay low for a bit. Alright, and the coast looks clear, so move on.
You have arrived at your destination.
And we'll take the high road here, so that we can have a better view of the landscape as we proceed. Enemy here, so we'll go ahead and mark them. And we need to get up there to the second floor, so we'll make our entry here. Yeah, it looks like the soldiers, as well as the diamonds we picked up earlier, have made their way back to Mother Base, adding to our GMP. And the vehicle as well. Right, close call there, but thanks to reflex mode, take that guy out. Alright, now we need to get to the second floor, and the coast does look clear, so we'll go ahead and Fulton this guy, then head on up. Now in this room we should be able to find some intel regarding Miller's whereabouts, so let's check it out. But it looks like there's also a POW here, so let's go ahead and see who this is. And this is actually Jackie, our E3 gameplay master, who is not looking too happy right now. We'll help him out in just a minute, but first let's go ahead and take a look at the intel files. So we'll go ahead and pull out our iDroid, scan these in, and upload the data.
So you picked up an intel file.
Updated.
Now we know where Miller is. I'm marking it on your iDroid.
Okay, now we have Miller's location. All we gotta do now is help Jackie escape. And that's not working. If you look at the Fulton icon, you can actually see that it's at 0% right now, which means obviously we can't Fulton him indoors. So let's get him outside. And now it should work. There he goes. So we have our intel, and we have Jackie up and away. So now all we need to do is escape from the base, and we're done. That said, we have been spotted, so we're going to have to fight our way out. But in this situation, Mother Base can once again provide support for us. So let's go ahead and open up our iDroid once again, and this time we'll call upon our support unit to provide an airstrike. So we'll go ahead and set target area.
Target area confirmed.
And then we'll also call a helicopter to help us escape.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone confirmed.
Alright, now all we need to do is escape as quickly as possible, because obviously we don't want to be here when the bombs start dropping, or we will be caught in the blast. So we're not going to bother with stealth at this point, just a matter of escaping the base. And we see a vehicle here, which should help us out, so let's go ahead and hijack that. Alright, support fire incoming, see if we can take a look at it here. Nice.
This is Morpho, arriving shortly at LZ.
And Morpho's incoming, so we just have to make our way to the LZ.
This is Morpho, have arrived at LZ. We'll stand by.
Alright, so we made it safely onto Morpho. That said, you're never truly safe in the Phantom Pain until you've escaped from enemy territory, and that does include enemy airspace, so we'll keep our eyes open here as we make our escape. Alright, down below we see some enemy reinforcements heading in. And the smoke from our airstrike. It does look like we're in the clear, so that's mission complete. Hello everyone and welcome to the Gamescom 2014 presentation of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. 2 months ago at E3 we showed off various features of the game as we snuck through this stage to accomplish our mission. Today we'll play through the same stage but show you how the same mission can feel completely different depending on the various factors such as route and time of day.
Marker placed.
Back at E3, you remember there were guards at this post, but you'll notice that they're not here anymore, so already we're seeing some variation in the mission. But that said, it looks like there are 2 soldiers heading this way in a vehicle, so let's go ahead and leave a little surprise for them.
Go on.
Alright, looks like these soldiers are disoriented, so let's go ahead and Fulton them, along with their vehicle, before they wake up. As you may recall, back at E3 we ran into a sandstorm which caused some problems, so to avoid that we'll minimize sidetracking and head straight towards our marker. Well, it looks like we have a goat here that's been separated from its herd, so let's see if we can help him out. And there he goes. We have a pack of wolves here too, most likely after the goat. Let's just keep our distance and continue with our mission before they come after us instead. Do remember that the landscape in the Phantom Pain is populated by various types of wildlife. And certain animals, such as wolves, can actually be dangerous, so you need to use caution when exploring the wilderness. Alright, so here we are at our vantage point.
You have arrived at your destination.
But first, what's this in the distance? Well, lo and behold, that's actually the vantage point we used at E3. This gives you some idea of where we are relative to our previous route on the other end of the base. That said, let's go ahead and mark the enemy. And it does look like the security is a bit tighter than it was before. You may remember that when we sneaked into this base previously, we created quite a mess, so the enemy has actually stepped up their game, and there are more troops here. And this is one example of how the game will actually adapt to player actions, and the same mission may actually be quite different when replayed. It was fairly easy to sneak into the space previously, but we'd have a much harder time if we tried to sneak in during daylight here. So let's go ahead and use our Phantom Cigar to pass the time.
Some will set shortly.
At night, as you can tell from the markers, it looks like security around our objective is beefed up. However, security around the rest of the base is fairly sparse. So let's go ahead and use that to our advantage. Oops, and it looks like enemies are wearing helmets now. The last time we played this mission, we used too many headshots with the trank, so it looks like the enemy has countered by having troops wear helmets this time around. The point here is that if you overuse some weapons or techniques, the enemy will learn to take steps to counter your actions thanks to the AI capabilities of the Fox engine. Direct approach here will be difficult, so let's go ahead and find a way around. We're exposed on an open road like this. Let's go ahead and use our cardboard box to reduce our chances of being spotted. Okay, that said, we have been noticed. This is a bad situation. We can't vacate the box without being spotted. We can try something else. Alright, the enemy's running up, but he's not engaging. He actually seems kind of excited. So what's going... Ah. Well, that would definitely explain it. Let's CQC this guy before he gets a little too excited. So this is just one example of several new modifications we've made to our cardboard box since E3, thanks to the various people we've recruited into our R&D unit. Even at night, you'll notice that the area around our target is actually pretty well lit, making it difficult to stay out of sight. So let's see if we can find a way to remedy that. This soldier may have some clues. Let's try interrogating him.
Spit it out.
The map has been updated.
Okay, now we have the location of the power grid, so if we destroy it, we should be able to shut the lights off. Alright, that should make things easier. But the enemy is coming to investigate, so let's go ahead and hide in this trash dumpster. Sounds like there may be a helicopter incoming. Seems like the enemy has called in some backup. So the base is darker now, but we need to be careful to avoid the helicopter's spotlight as we head to the target. So our target should be in this room. So
So you picked up an intel file. Now we know where Miller is. I'm marking it on your iDroid.
Alright, so these are the docs we needed. Objective complete. Now all we need to do is escape. We'll need to move cautiously. We got some reinforcements driving in. That said, their vehicle just may be our ticket out of here, so let's see if we can confiscate it.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone confirmed.
Alright, looks like the helicopter has moved into a holding pattern here, which is bad for us. Obviously we can't drive out of here now without being spotted by the helicopter, so let's try something else. Alright, so that takes care of the helicopter. Let's go ahead and call our horse and hightail it out of here. That's mission complete. Hello everyone and welcome to this special E3 2015 presentation of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. As you all know by now, The Phantom Pain takes place in a massive open world, and today we're going to demonstrate how that world is every bit as deep as it is large. Thanks to the limitless options available, players can make the game their own and complete it in any way they like. However, before we begin, I'd like to quickly address a concern that's been brought up by the media recently about microtransactions in the game. While it is true that a few microtransaction options do exist, the entire game has been carefully balanced to be fair and enjoyable with or without using these options. There's no pay-to-win option. Rest assured that every single item, weapon, and mission in the game is available to all players without paying a single cent. However, due to the sheer scale of the game and the time required to explore it all, microtransactions were added as a completely optional feature for players who might not be able to spend as much time with the game. Nothing more, nothing less. More info on how this works will be announced in the future, but for now, let's jump into today's demo. What you see on the screen right now is your Aerial Command Center, or ACC. The ACC is essentially your home away from home where you can manage your army, plan strategy between missions, and do various things without heading back to base. As your mobile HQ, there are also personal touches, such as these photographs on the wall, which increase in number and change as you progress through the game. Also, as we pan around, you can see that our currently selected weapon is here on the weapon rack, ready for deployment. And straight ahead we see is our currently selected buddy, in this case the Sniper Quiet, who we introduced at last year's TGS. And note that her demeanor and appearance will change depending on the situation and your relationship with her. We also have here various bits of intel scattered throughout the helicopter. And more on the far wall here as well. More photos and a bit of intel. Alright, so next I'd like to give you a look at some of the game's customization options. So let's go ahead and open up our iDroid. Alright, so here you can see we have a customized menu. So let's go ahead and open that up. And you can see that you have various options. You can customize your weapons, helicopter, vehicles, equipment for your buddies, your emblem, create a custom emblem for your army, and even adjust the color of your base and customize the mother base itself. But for today, I'd like to focus on weapons and show you how that works. So, let's go ahead and select weapons. Alright, so here we see our primary weapon without any modifications. But if we look at the modifications menu, you see you can modify any part you like, such as the barrel. Just go ahead and swap that out. And if we like, we can also attach an optional underbarrel attachment. Let's go ahead and choose a grenade launcher for today. And aside from these functional modifications, you can also make aesthetic modifications as well, such as modifying the color or pattern of your weapon. Alright, so there we go. This is our customized weapon. And one other really cool thing you can do is you don't have to just choose parts from things that you find. You can also swap parts between different weapons to create your own unique modified weapon. So the options are virtually limitless, and we hope players have a lot of fun playing around with that. Alright, so one other thing you can do while in the ACC is plan for your next mission. One critical part of that is using your Walkman to listen to tapes. So you see in your iDroid menu, we have the cassette tape option. Now of course cassette tapes are useful for listening to intel, such as this, but we also have music as well, and you can find these music tapes in the field. You see on the screen we have a sort of best hits of the 80s collection, this just being a small sample. You can listen to music here, or you can set it to your helicopter music. And what this does is it actually sets it to music that'll play during the entrance or exit from a mission when your helicopter arrives. So you can make sort of a dramatic entrance. Alright, so now without further ado, let's jump into some action. So we'll go ahead and open up our mission list.
Please select a mission.
And you'll see the familiar mission list selection menu that you've seen from Ground Zeroes. But something that's new is we have what's called free mode. Now free mode is something that allows you to jump into the map without selecting a mission. You can just wander around freely in the map doing whatever you like. So let's go ahead and show you how that works. We'll just go ahead and choose a landing zone. And whether you're embarking on a mission or just heading to the field to explore, your first step will be to select your loadout. So here you can customize various options such as your equipment or selecting your buddy. Right now we have Quiet selected as our buddy. Let's take a look at some of our other options. Alright, so you see here our list. One of those options is D-Horse, which is great for missions where you have to cover a lot of ground. And another option is D-Dog, which is great for tracking and scouting. We've never shown D-Dog in action, so today let's go ahead and choose D-Dog and show you how that works. And next, since we're dropping into a remote area, a vehicle will be handy. As you can see from the list, we have various options available, ranging from off-road vehicles to trucks to APCs and tanks. So you can choose whatever vehicle best matches your playstyle or the mission at hand. Today we'll go ahead and choose this off-road vehicle, and you'll see on the side that we have our custom E3 emblem, which is an example of the emblem customization feature we mentioned earlier. Okay, and if you like, you can also select your character. You don't necessarily have to play as Snake. You can select any member of Mother Base. You can see here some options. But for today, let's stick with Snake. And finally, the last step before you can commence your mission is to select a drop time. Now, drop time is significant since enemy routes, mission parameters, and visibility will all vary depending on the time of day. So be sure to select the time that makes the most sense for the strategy you wish to employ. That said, for the purposes of today's demo, let's just go ahead and deploy ASAP.
Deploying.
Alright, now we've arrived at our area of operations in northern Kabul in Afghanistan. Give you a taste of some desert infiltration. Straight ahead, you can see that our buddy has now been swapped out from Quiet to D-Dog. And if we open up the door, we can take a look at the scenery. And now you can hear the tape that we set earlier as our helicopter music playing through the speakers. Alright, we've arrived at our drop point, so let's go ahead and disembark.
Be careful down there, boss.
And D-Dog will do that from time to time. We'll let him take care of his business. Looks like he's done, so let's go ahead and get in the car and get on with the mission. Alright, so the first thing that we should do is open up our iDroid so we can accept the mission, since we are in free mode. So if we look at our mission list,
Please select a mission.
you'll notice that there are 3 options available to us right now. In the Phantom Pain, you'll unlock missions in groups, and you don't have to complete them in any particular order. You can choose whichever mission you like. That said, for today, let's go ahead and choose A Hero's Way. Do note, however, that this version of A Hero's Way that we're going to show you today has been customized slightly for E3 due to the limited time that we have during this presentation. Alright, so after selecting the mission, the next step will be to choose a start point for the mission. You'll notice that there are 3 start points available for this particular mission. And also you notice these circles on the map which indicate side objectives, which we call side ops. Now these side ops can be completed between missions or during missions freely as you wish. And you'll notice that there's actually a side op fairly close to us to extract a Russian interpreter, which would be very useful here in Soviet-occupied Afghanistan. So let's go ahead and place a marker here and give it a try.
Marker placed.
You notice that D-Dog is barking, indicating he found something. This is what D-Dog does. As you proceed through the map, he'll locate animals and plants, as well as enemies. We can also pull up our iDroid here to help navigate as we drive our vehicle.
Enemy presence detected. You're not usually arrived at your destination.
We found out there's an English-speaking soldier somewhere in the region. He's a language specialist. His role is to translate information related to the West into Russian. If we can get him to join us, we'll have the upper hand in information warfare. Find this language specialist and extract him.
Alright, so as Miller explained, our target should be somewhere in these ruins. Let's start by doing some reconnaissance.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
DD.
So as we make our approach here, you'll notice that DD is barking to indicate he's found more targets. And you'll notice that he's able to locate targets even if they're behind obstacles or within buildings, which is very useful in the field.
Stay.
Alright, we have 2 enemy soldiers here, which could be tricky to take out on our own, but in this case we can enlist D-Dog to give us a hand. So we'll open up our menu,
Hold him off.
and have him keep one of these guys busy. Alright, nicely done. Now let's see if we can get some intel out of this guy by interrogating him.
Talk.
Я не говорю по-английски. Отпусти.
He speaks Russian. What we need is an interpreter. The main principle of intelligence work is intel gathering. But that's a problem if you don't speak the enemy's language. We need a staff member with the interpreter skill to do a simultaneous interpretation.
Well, it was worth a try, right? Apparently this guy doesn't speak English, as Miller explained. But if we look at him with our intel scope, he actually has some pretty good stats. So let's go ahead and send him back to Mother Base using our Fulton.
You gonna extract him?
We also have a gun turret here, which we could use if we want. There are various weapons scattered throughout the enemy bases, which we can use to our advantage. But in this case, we want to keep on sneaking, don't want to make noise. So we'll just Fulton it to make sure that the enemy can't use it on us.
Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
Alright, and as Miller explained, there are also resources that you can gather in the field. Things like fuel, metals. These all go back to Mother Base, which help you develop new weapons and equipment, as well as expand Mother Base itself.
The place was originally built by progressive royals as a separate palace away from Kabul. With its Western architecture, it was their declaration of a new dawn. But I'd say their prosperity didn't last.
Alright, so we'll use caution as we enter the building here. You'll notice that enemies within the building have been marked thanks to D-Dog's intel. So we'll leave D-Dog here, where he's safe, and trust his info as we sneak into the building.
Analysis complete.
Right, so that's our guy. Let's see if we can get close and knock him out. Okay, we made some noise. That's not good. But in this case, we can actually have D-Dog help us out. We issued a bark command, which makes him bark and take him out.
Great. If there's nothing in the way overhead, you should be able to Fulton him.
Oh, but of course there was something overhead, the ceiling. So let's go ahead and move him to someplace in the clear. Right, there's a hole in the ceiling here. We should be able to Fulton him.
Side op completed. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Boss, that language
Unit
specialist you
function
extracted
added.
has been very cooperative. Says he's always dreamed of living a free life, like folks in the West. What are the odds, huh? I've gone ahead and placed him in the support unit. His job is Russian interpretation. Now you'll know what Soviet soldiers are saying. You can even interrogate them. Should give you an edge in the mission.
Alright, awesome. Now with Ochre Capybara in our support unit, we can now understand Russian. So let's move on here. You notice up ahead we see some markers. A green marker there, which D-Dog pointed out to us, indicates a friendly, probably a hostage situation. So let's see if we can lend a hand. Let's take a quick look with our in-scope. Doing so reveals that she actually has the botanist skill. Personnel with unique skills such as this are valuable assets. So let's be sure to bring her back to Mother Base.
Help!
Help me! Help!
Get down. Speak.
Alright, and putting our new Russian interpreter to good use, we now have the location of a blueprint, which we can use to upgrade our weapons. So let's go ahead and place a marker.
Marker placed.
Knock this guy out and rescue the hostage.
Thank you.
You have arrived at your destination. destination.
So there's the blueprint.
That material. It could be just what we need to develop new weapons and equipment.
And we also have some pretty cool music playing on stereo here via tape, so let's go ahead and grab that as well. Oh, damn. Okay, it looks like the guy on the ground noticed our Fulton. We'll have to kick him out quickly.
Okay, subject is in.
Okay, the enemy's down, but not before he radioed for help, so... The enemy is on alert, so let's just be careful not to get spotted and make our escape.
DD. He's coming too. Roger
Caution.
that.
Sandstorm approaching.
Alright, looks like there's a sandstorm rolling in. This is an example of some of the dynamic weather in the game. Sandstorms can be useful sometimes to provide cover, but it also makes your visibility very low, which isn't exactly what we want for our presentation today. So let's just go ahead and pass the time and wait for it to go away.
If you need to pass the time, go ahead and smoke that cigar of yours.
As Ocelot mentioned, if you have time to kill, we have the Phantom Cigar, which is an item you can use to fast forward time. This is very useful for when the weather is unfavorable, or if you just want to fast forward to a different time of day, such as night, where sneaking conditions are more favorable.
Sun will rise momentarily.
Alright, so the weather has cleared. It's a nice sunny day here. So let's move on with our mission. And the enemy has conveniently left the vehicle for us, so let's go ahead and confiscate that. And head to our mission start point.
You can listen to the tapes you picked up using your iDroid. If you're interested, why not play them while you're on the move?
Not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and take a look at our tape list. The music track we picked up earlier. Let's go ahead and play it now.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development project has been added.
Alright, now we're getting close to our mission area, so let's go ahead and go the rest of the way on foot. Spend some quality time with Diamond Dog. We won't be needing our vehicle anymore, so let's fold it back to Mother Base. And go for a little jog. Right up on the left we see a couple of wild animals, in this case desert wolves, which can be dangerous if you get close, so let's just keep our distance and keep on moving. Alright, so we've reached our mission start point. Let's go ahead and kill the music. And download our mission intel.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago-Calais and eliminate the target.
Alright, so as Miller explained, our mission here is to eliminate a Spetsnaz commander, and we can do that any way we like. We can kill him, we can Fulton him, we can extract him by helicopter. The choice is yours, but before we proceed, I want to introduce you to another buddy, which we call D-Walker. So I'll go ahead and call him in, and send D-Dog back to Mother Base. And while we wait for D-Walker to arrive, let's review the mission intel with Miller.
The map has been updated.
The target is camped out in that village, dressed as an ordinary soldier.
Alright, so here's D-Walker. D-Walker is a multifunctional robotic buddy that can be customized for either stealth or battle. And today we'll just show you a few of those features and how they can be used in the field. But before we proceed, you'll recall that we grabbed those blueprints back in the previous village. So let's go ahead and see if we can develop an item using those blueprints. Those blueprints actually unlocked a suppressor for our sniper rifle, which will be very useful in a mission to eliminate the Spetsnaz commander. So we'll go ahead and order development, and then choose a drop point up ahead, so that we can rendezvous with it on our way to the mission. Right, and as you can see, D-Walker lives up to his name. He can walk or run for maximum maneuverability, or if you're in a rush, you can also change modes and deploy his wheels to get to your destination in a flash.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been
updated. You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Okay, so here we are at our mission area. Let's grab our sniper rifle. And then do some recon.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
It's a sniper. It goes without saying that he'll try to spot you from long range and pick you off. And stay out of his field of vision. Or you could take him out first. When firing from long range, you need to calculate bullet drop. A shot that travels further than your weapon's effective range will land lower than the crosshair. Great job.
Okay, we took care of the sniper, and that also counted as a tactical takedown, which earns us rewards for executing difficult takedowns, such as long-distance headshots. So now that the sniper's out of the way, we'll place a marker and head on in. Alright, and as we're using D-Walker with his wheels out, it's actually fairly hard for us to be spotted by enemies because he moves quite silently, allowing us to sneak up on enemies, like so. And we can also use CQC, or even pick up enemies using his robotic arm if we like. while looking at things with our int scope, you'll notice that sometimes the intel radio option does appear. So let's make a call and see what intel we can get.
Anti-air radar. Neutralize that, and our choppers can breathe a little easier.
Alright, so using your intel radio like so can reveal lots of useful information. As Ocelot explained, we could destroy the anti-air radar and create a landing zone nearby, but it would alert the enemy to our presence. So for now, let's just keep on moving. Taking a look at our map, we can see where the current landing zones are.
You gotta extract him.
And we can also take a look at some intel from our intel team to see predicted enemy fields of movement. That said, the information is not terribly accurate, so we can use one of D-Walker's other abilities, Search Mode,
Search mode.
to scan the area and more accurately identify enemy locations. If we open up our map once again, we can now see that enemies have been marked clearly.
Начали раздавать щиты, они полностью защищают от пуль. И даже гранат.
Неплохо. Но их наверняка на всех не хватит.
Конечно. Щиты раздают только тем, кому это нужно по заданию. Как всегда. Хорошего всегда не хватает.
Это точно.
Ладно, я пошел.
Ага.
Those enemy soldiers are using different gear than before. Maybe trying to put up some resistance against your tactics. You might not do so while sticking to the same moves. Think carefully.
As Ocelot explained, enemies in the Phantom Pain will constantly adapt to your tactics, so you'll need to adjust your strategy, even when infiltrating the same outpost.
Why not interrogate the enemy? We might learn where the target is. Information's updated.
The map has been updated.
Great. Interrogating the enemy gave us the rough location of our target. So let's go ahead and open up our map and plan our route. Alright, so here's our target's FOM and our position.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
You have arrived at your destination.
Is that him? Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
Analysis complete.
That's the target. Looks like we found him.
Alright, so there's our target, and he seems to be accompanied by a particularly well-armored soldier as well. It would be trouble if we set off an alarm here, so let's be careful and approach the target without being spotted.
Analysis complete.
Right, we've incapacitated this guy. We could Fulton him, but we'd probably alert the nearby armored soldier, so we don't want to do that. Let's see if we can find someplace to hide him instead. Outhouse will do nicely. Now let's carefully make our way into our target's building. Oh, an enemy? No, not really. This is actually just another example of how enemies can counter the player's tactics. We've shown previously how Snake can use decoys on enemies, but as you progress through the game, enemies will also do the same to you, so keep your guard up. And here's our target. Seems to be enjoying some music, so let's sneak up behind him and take him out.
Boss, I gotta say it would be a waste to kill him. But putting him to sleep doesn't count as eliminating him. Neither does knocking him out.
We'll have to extract him from the mission area, but first, there's another cassette tape here, so why not? Let's grab that too.
We sent the target to a place outside of heaven. Boss, your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land. Don't hang around.
Whoa, look out. Alright, nice shot. Let's see if we can confiscate this guy's rocket launcher. Use it to our advantage. So remember that anti-air radar we saw earlier? Let's see if we can take it out and open up the landing zone to get out of here.
Wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost.
Okay, so now we open up the landing zone. Chopper should be able to get close, but we don't want to call him in while these enemies are here because they'll get shot down. So let's clear him out with D-Walker. Alright. Looks like we managed to create a window of opportunity, so let's go ahead and call in our helicopter.
Select a landing zone. Support helicopter requested.
And looks like reinforcements have arrived, so we're gonna have to take them out too. Keep them busy while we wait for our chopper to arrive. Okay, we lost D-Walker. Let's just retreat temporarily here.
Good. Don't let your buddy die, Snake. I'm pulling them out of there.
C-Squad! On station at LC!
Note that Miller will retrieve your injured buddies if they're about to die. So D-Walker will go back to Mother Base. And we'll take cover as our chopper provides some cover fire.
Flawless work. You never cease to amaze, boss.
Alright, nice job. That said, there's an anti-aircraft gun here shooting at our helicopters. Let's take that out ASAP.
This is C-Squad! Boarding attack run and heading for nearby LZ! Don't keep me waiting! Get on board as soon as I touch down!
And head to the LZ.
C-Squad! On station at LZ!
Alright, just keep our eyes open. Make sure the coast is clear. Crap, and we got a tank rolling in, which means we gotta move now. Let's get on the helicopter and make a run for it. Alright. Looks like we're in the clear. Nice job, mission complete. And that concludes our E3 2015 presentation. Hope you all enjoyed it. Look forward to more updates as we approach release on September 1st. Thanks for listening. Hello everyone and welcome to this post-E3 2015 special presentation of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Back at E3 2015, we showed you an example of how you can jump into free roam and complete side ops and then jump into a mission. We also explained how missions can be completed in a variety of different ways. And today we're going to show you some of those varieties. Back at E3, we showed you how to complete the mission A Hero's Way using one type of approach. We used walker gear back then. Today we'll try something different and show you some variations using a different buddy and other types of equipment, in addition to other approaches to the same mission. So without further ado, let's jump into some gameplay. Alright, so here we are in our ACC once again, and we have Quiet as our buddy. Today we'll jump into the same mission, A Hero's Way, and show a different approach. Last time we approached from the north. This time we'll try approaching from the east. And show you a different way that we can tackle this mission. Approaching from the north was farther, but it had fewer enemies. Coming in from the east is closer and more direct, but it's more patrolled and has more obstacles, which will make things a little bit more difficult. Since this will be more difficult than before, we'll enlist Quiet's help and infiltrate as a two-man fire team. This time we want to go non-lethal, so as our primary weapon we'll choose a non-lethal assault rifle, which fires rubber bullets and will stun enemies rather than kill them. And as our secondary weapon, we'll use a tranquilizer pistol. For Quiet, we'll equip her with a tranquilizer sniper rifle. And since we're dropping into a remote location, we'll also take a vehicle with us. And once again, we could choose a drop time here. Let's just go ahead and choose ASAP.
Deploying.
Is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target.
Alright, so here we are in the airspace above Afghanistan once again, and we're fast forwarding things a little for the sake of time.
Be careful down there, boss!
And here we are. So we can see Quiet is here with us. So let's go ahead and call upon some support. We'll send her up ahead, scout out the area, and mark targets for us. As you can see, allies are marked by the green Diamond Dogs logo, as well as your own vehicles. And we'll go ahead, jump to our vehicle, and rendezvous with her at our destination.
You've arrived at the objective. You're talking to Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Alright, so we've arrived at our marker, and as you can see, enemies have been marked by the red triangles on the screen, thanks to Quiet. So she's finished scouting now, and should be taking up a snipe position.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
You can also see here that Quiet has prepared some supplies for us, so if we need to resupply and get ammo, we can head back here.
The map has been updated.
Alright, and we have a sniper, so let's have Quiet take care of this guy.
Fire!
And now we should be able to get close. So let's head on in. Alright, and we have a two-man cell up ahead. So we'll coordinate with Quiet to take these guys out without raising an alarm.
On my command.
Move on ahead.
You gotta extract him.
This looks like the meeting of the Spetsnaz troops, as we saw in the E3 video, but we need to get closer to identify the target.
Analysis complete.
There, that's the target.
Alright, so there's our target. That said, he's guarded by a bunch of soldiers, and we would raise an alarm if we took only one of them out, even with Quiet's help. So let's go ahead and try something different. We'll equip a sleep grenade and have Quiet shoot this
Fire!
into the group. By doing so, we can take all of them out without raising an alarm.
Boss, I gotta say it would be a waste to kill him. But putting him to sleep doesn't count as eliminating him. Neither does knocking him out.
Alright, so now we need to recover our target, but first, to plan for our escape, we'll have Quiet move to another sniping point and provide cover.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
So go ahead and Fulton these guys out. Leave no evidence behind. And now all we need to do is vacate the area.
Target secured. I'll tell the client we sent the target to a place outside of heaven. Boss, your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land.
And an enemy noticed us. Unfortunately, this guy has a helmet on, so we'll have Quiet help us out once again by shooting out the helmet, giving us a clean shot. Now, as we drive out of here,
Support
we'll
helicopter.
set a marker at our landing zone and have Quiet provide cover fire as we make our way there. As you can see, she'll provide cover fire, limiting enemies in our path.
Extraction arrived at mark.
And in this case, we have a vehicle with several enemies in it. Quiet did manage to tranquilize one of them, however the others in the vehicle are still coming after us and have now opened fire. So let's change our route and head to the landing zone so we can vacate the mission area.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been
out here, provide some cover for Quiet if she needs it. The coast is clear. Let's go ahead and get on the chopper and leave the mission area. Back at E3, we showed you how you can use D-Dog and D-Walker to complete missions. Today we showed you how you can complete the same mission using Quiet in a completely different way. This is an example of how the game is completely free and open, and how you can use your buddies to completely change the approach to each mission based on your personal playstyle and the situation. So feel free to mix and match buddies and equipment as you see fit and approach the mission in a way that makes the most sense to you. Alright, next I'd like to show you another variation of the same mission, A Hero's Way. Previously, we approached this mission from a distance using stealth to our advantage. This time we're going to go in loud, via the air, and choose a landing zone very close to our mission area. As you can see here, the landing zone is red, which indicates high risk, which means we have a good chance of being attacked during our approach, since we're not being stealthy at all. So we're going to go in loud, with guns blazing, which means we'll have to choose some different equipment this time. So for equipment, we'll go ahead and choose the combination of a shotgun and a machine gun, which is used for battle and close situations such as this. And for our uniform, we'll choose a battle dress, which should afford us some protection since we'll be going into heavy fire. And once again, we could choose a drop time here. Let's just go ahead and choose ASAP.
Deploying.
Is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his...
So here we are at our area of operations, and as you can see, we've chosen to come here at night. Night will provide us some advantage due to cover, and also enemies will have their guards lowered, which means that reinforcements will take longer to arrive. So our first step will be to scope the area out using our in-scope and mark targets.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. Don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz...
Alright, so as we make our approach, we'll use the helicopter's minigun to take out enemies. Naturally, this will raise an alarm, so we'll need to eliminate targets as quickly as possible. Likewise, we can take advantage of things such as drum cans, to create explosions, and general chaos among the enemy. Alright, we've been spotted by searchlights. Let's take that out as quickly as we can. And also eliminate this guard tower. Alright, so now we've reached our destination, so we'll go ahead and disembark. Throw a flare grenade so we can mark our helicopter's location and switch to our machine gun and head on in. Use a smoke grenade to provide cover, and then equip night vision goggles so that we can see the enemies and eliminate them as we storm the compound. We'll need to move quickly here. Note that our target is not on the first floor, where he was previously. We'll go ahead and search upstairs. Again, keep in mind that time is of the essence, as reinforcements will arrive shortly.
Is in hot!
That's the target.
Target acquired. In hot.
Alright, so there's our target. We'll go ahead and use a stun grenade to take him out.
Captured.
Boss, I gotta say it would be a waste to kill him. But putting him to sleep doesn't count as a...
And we'll now need to extract him from the mission area. So we'll call the helicopter back to our landing zone. We could attempt to use a Fulton, but it wouldn't be wise since Fultons will likely get shot down during battle. So we'll carry him and load him on manually. So we've loaded our target. And now we can depart the mission area. And that's mission complete. Right, so this was an example of a surgical air raid. Today's mission was to eliminate a target, but this tactic is particularly useful for rescue missions. That said, since the enemy will be on high alert, mission preparation is critical. You'll need to gather intel, study the landscape, layout of buildings, and target locations to ensure you can quickly storm the area and make your escape before the enemy has a chance to respond. But for advanced players, this may be an exciting challenge to try. Alright, now up to this point we've showed you various ways that we can infiltrate enemy territory, approach, take out enemies, and extract our target. That said, when you think about it, this may not necessarily be the best approach for all people. Whenever you infiltrate an enemy outpost, you're exposing yourself to danger. So for those who want to minimize risk, it's safer and wiser to keep your distance and approach from afar. So this time we'll show you an example of that and how to complete the mission from long range. The mission is the same, a hero's way, but as you'll see, the impression you get from this style of gameplay will be completely different. So first of all, we'll set our landing zone far away from the outpost, which is actually quite near where we started off our E3 demo. And since we'll be covering a lot of ground, we'll choose D-Horse as our buddy. And for our weapon, we'll choose a sniper rifle and equip it with a scope that has 8 times magnification so that we can eliminate the target from far away. Now we're set, so let's go ahead and deploy ASAP.
Deploying.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Dishago Calais and eliminate the target.
Alright, so here we are at our landing zone, but before we proceed, if we look around, we see some plants here, medicinal herbs that we can gather, so let's go ahead and pick that up.
Golden Crescent. It's a type of medicinal plant.
And we'll get on D-Horse.
Use that to make tranquilizer rounds more potent.
And look for an area where we can scout out our mission. So this dune here looks like a high point where we can gather some intel.
You have arrived at your destination.
We've arrived at our marker, so let's go ahead and do some recon.
Analysis complete.
We see various soldiers heading to the courtyard for the meeting, which means that the commander should be nearby. not on the second floor.
Analysis complete.
Looks like that could be our target.
Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
Marker placed.
Seems like they're all gathering in one spot for the meeting. We don't have a clear shot to the building here, so we'll place a marker and see if we can find a better location to take our shot. There's our target. And there's a high point here nearby, which should provide us a clear shot.
Marker placed.
See it there. That said,
Analysis complete.
there are guards, so we'll take the long way around and avoid detection as we make our way to the marker, as we wouldn't want to blow this opportunity by setting off an alarm and having our target vacate the area.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
Alright, so we've arrived at our snipe point, roughly on the opposite end of the outpost from our previous location. And there's a guard tower here on the southern end. We're still continuing to have the meeting, so let's just wait here until we can get a clear shot at our target. Timing will be critical here. We see one man heading up the second floor, and this is our target.
That's the target.
Sun will set shortly.
Keep in mind when shooting from long range, it will take some time for your bullet to reach its target. Therefore, it's best to wait until your target is stationary to ensure the best shot. If you try to shoot at targets while they're on the move, you'll not only have to account for your bullet drop and the time it takes for your bullet to reach the target, but also their movement, which is a very highly difficult shot to make, and is recommended only for the most skilled of players. If we wanted to, we could wait here for the perfect timing to present itself, but we'll leave that to players to experiment with in the actual game. Instead, I'd like to show you some new equipment and new functionality included in your bionic arm. And using the bionic arm sonar detector, we've located an enemy nearby. So we'll take him out. And I'm going to show you one other new feature, which we call the blast arm. Alright, so what you saw there was using rocket propulsion in our blast arm to quickly incapacitate an opponent.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
One other cool thing you can do with the blast arm is you can also fire it off in rocket mode, and then operate it like a remote-controlled missile. So using this, we can navigate through the landscape and find our target.
Target confirmed dead.
Alright, and that took care of our target. Target eliminated.
Out of the hot zone by chopper or on land.
Mission complete. So we'll make our way back to D-Horse and vacate the hot zone.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Metal Gear Solid series is an action game series, as you all know. However, in the Phantom Pain it is possible to clear missions by employing strategies to completely avoid confrontation altogether, if you prefer. And we'll show you an example of that next. This time we're starting in free roam mode with D-Horse and a sneaking suit for Snake.
Mission accepted. The map has been updated.
So let's begin by downloading our mission intel from the mission start point to the southeast of the mission area.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander.
Alright, so scouting out the area, we see here a road patrolled by Soviets leading to our outpost. And this vehicle is carrying Soviet soldiers who are en route to the meeting with the Spetsnaz commander. So let's see if we can intercept them. Alright, so this time we'll show you some new features of the cardboard box. As you can see, the cardboard box is equipped with some new abilities, such as the ability to slide down hills, and if you're up on a slope, this may be the fastest way to get from point A to point B. Alright, so now we've made it to the road, and we'll leave the cardboard box here in the middle. It looks like the enemy has noticed it, so we'll leave it there to cause a distraction while we sneak away. We'll use these rocks for cover as we make our way around the enemy. And as you can see, two of the enemy are going to investigate the cardboard box, which will allow us to sneak up on the third enemy who is left to guard the vehicle. Carefully approach from behind with some C4. And quickly plant it without him noticing. And take cover. We haven't been noticed, so as long as we don't move, we should be fine. Alright, so the soldiers have gotten back into their vehicle and are heading off to their meeting without noticing the present we've placed on their comrade. So let's quickly make our way to our destination and see if we can scope things out. Alright, so here we are at our outpost. And you can see there's a guard here. But as you may have noticed on the way in, there's a crack in the wall which you can use to climb. And if we take a look with our night vision goggles, you can see it more clearly. So we can take advantage of that. But first, let's cause a distraction and get this guy out of our way. Alright, so he heard a noise, he'll go to check that out. So while he's busy, we'll go ahead and climb on in. As we've shown previously, Snake can use cracks in walls to climb. So we'll get on top of this building to get a better view of our target. So we'll use our int-scope to verify the target.
That looks like the target.
Ходят слухи, что это постарались наши.
And also verify that our booby-trapped soldier is among them.
Приказы не обсуждать.
So now all we have to do is equip the C4 and pull the trigger. Nothing personal.
Target confirmed dead.
Alright, target eliminated. But you'll recall we still have this guy down here, checking out the noise. Let's get rid of him. Then make our way back to the horse.
Exfiltrated.
Alright, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Alright, and we vacated the hot zone. Mission complete. Alright, and that's it for today. We hope you enjoyed these 4 other examples of how you can approach our E3 mission, A Hero's Way. That said, keep in mind that this was just a small sampling of the limitless possibilities you have at your disposal for each and every mission in the game. We hope that players will have fun experimenting with various techniques and sharing war stories with each other that are uniquely their own. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain will be released in just under 2 months on September 1st, 2015. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, Sean Eystone and Jackie Tan here from Kojima Productions with a special Tokyo Game Show 2014 gameplay presentation of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Back at E3 and Gamescom we showed off the desert landscape of Afghanistan, but today we'll show you an entirely new stage in our mission to rescue a Mother Base Intel operative who's been captured by the enemy. He's a valuable member of our Mother Base team, so we'll need to recover him quickly before the enemy can extract information from him. So to start off, we'll take a survey of the landscape here, take a look outside of the helicopter. And note that you can choose to look out either the left or right side of the aircraft, so you can get a better view of the overall area. And this can be done at any time by the player. Coming up on our drop zone now, so let's go ahead and disembark. And the first thing we'll need to do is get to our target area. So let's go ahead and start off by calling in some transportation. Alright, you can see our helicopter flying off in the distance. You'll also notice the lush green landscape, very different from what we've shown previously. Once again, our mission will be to infiltrate the jungle and rescue our captured operative. But before we get too far, let's open up our map and plan our route. Alright, so here's our target, at the top of this plateau. Now we could get there along this road by riding our horse, but it is a long way to travel. So instead, let's take a shortcut on foot and climb up the rock face directly. Since we don't need our transportation, we'll go ahead and dismiss our horse and get him out of harm's way. Right, we'll make our way to the cliffs here. And you do note that we are using a different uniform from what we've showed off previously. This particular outfit should be familiar to anyone who's played Metal Gear Solid 3. It's called the Naked Camouflage, with Snake going shirtless. Cool looking, yes, but not exactly the best option, so let's call Mother Base for some help. Right, so we'll order a supply drop to bring in our new sneaking suit. And according to our map, we'll need to scale this cliff face here. You do notice that there are cracks in the cliff, which should give us a good grip. Let's go ahead and utilize that to do some cliff climbing. It looks like there's an enemy helicopter patrolling overhead, so let's just hang here for a bit, make sure we don't get spotted. And continue on up. It looks like our supplies have been dropped by our support unit. So let's see if we can take a look here. There it is. Let's go up and grab it. Alright, now that's more like it. In addition to providing some camouflage, this also provides a certain amount of defense, and looks pretty cool as well. So now that we have our sneaking suit, let's go ahead and move on. And one thing I want to point out as we climb up the cliff is if we take a look down at Snake's legs, you'll notice that he's wearing some pretty cool looking boots. These are actually boots that were designed by Shinkawa-san in collaboration with Puma. And we will actually have these for sale as merchandise, and we'll have more information on that in the future, so stay tuned. As you can see, we've made it to the top and gained quite a bit of elevation, saved a good amount of time thanks to our shortcut. So let's continue onward. As mentioned previously, we'll need to infiltrate jungle terrain, which means visibility will be low, making it hard for enemies to spot us, but also making it difficult for us to spot threats. However, we do have a new device here in Metal Gear Solid 5 that comes in handy in situations like this. So let's go ahead and open up our items menu. It's called the Sonar Biodetector, and it uses active sonar to help us locate life forms that may be nearby. Animals, soldiers, or POWs. As you can see, the jungle is full of wildlife. But we do also have enemies on patrol here. Note the analyzer on the right side of the screen helps us to check out skills of the enemy before we go through the trouble of filtering them. These two actually have pretty high stats, so it's to our advantage to capture and recruit them. Oops, but it does look like they're equipped with helmets, meaning we can't just go ahead and headshot them with our tranquilizer, so we'll have to try something else. We have a new item that comes in handy in situations like this. We call it the active decoy. And this is actually a balloon decoy that we can inflate. And it also plays a recorded message that lures enemies towards it. So while they're distracted, let's go ahead and sneak around them and take them out.
Get down. Damn it! Kept you waiting.
Alright, so let's go ahead and fulton these two.
Alright, we'll bring him out. Target on board. Leave the rest to us.
That takes care of these two, but we don't know what other threats may be lurking in the jungle ahead. And it's also a pain if they happen to all be wearing helmets, so let's call in some backup to lend a hand.
Dispatch requested.
And there she is. This character is named Quiet. People may have seen her previously in trailers and in the cutscene we released prior to TGS. However, as you can see, she's also able to join Snake on his missions, and is an example of the new buddy system that's been implemented into Phantom Pain. Quiet can help by scouting out enemies, and can also provide assistance by afar by using her sniper abilities. So to start off, let's go ahead and assign her to a snipe point, so she can provide cover for us as we infiltrate the jungle. As you can see, Quiet has several superhuman abilities, such as the ability to turn herself invisible, and also the ability to move at extremely high speeds. Alright, there's a gunshot. Shouldn't be Quiet since we didn't order to attack anyone, so we'll need to be careful here. Alright, it looks like Quiet has located an enemy for us. The green marker on the left is our buddy, in this case Quiet, and the orange marker on the right is our enemy. Not bad as far as stats are concerned. Let's see if we can take him alive.
Hands up! I'm gonna escape me!
Okay, and it looks like he had a buddy here. Nice teamwork. Thanks to Quiet, we were able to shoot off his helmet, giving us a clear shot with our tranquilizer.
He's coming too. Roger that. Target's inside. Is that it?
Right, and our intel unit is reporting rain approaching our vicinity. There it is. Once again, this is an example of the real-time weather effects in the Phantom Pain. Weather will change dynamically, and in jungle settings such as this, rainstorms are fairly common. We see Quiet off in the distance there. And we also noticed that there's some sort of whining sound in the background. Could be an animal nearby, so let's use caution and see if we can find out what that is. Alright, looks like we have a puppy here. And his mother's been killed. Could very well be the gunshot that we heard earlier. Sad story, but we don't have time to play around with the puppy, so we'll prioritize our mission and move on. So target's up ahead. But it does look like the puppy's trying to follow us, which could be a problem since he does make noise. Let's try something to keep him busy. We'll go ahead and try and decoy here.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good.
Alright, so the decoy should keep him busy for a while. So let's go ahead and move on ahead. Open up our map, see where we're at. You'll note that we are close to the enemy outpost now, so let's go ahead and use Quiet to scout ahead and help us out by marking enemies.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good. You're pretty good.
like Quiet has made it into the outpost. And she's marked some enemies for us. Definitely makes things easier. Let's make our approach here. You also see Quiet up there in the green. Right now we could go ahead and make our approach as is, but the rain and mist does make visibility a little low. So let's go ahead and pass the time using our Phantom Cigar and wait for the weather to clear.
Sun will set shortly. Sun will rise momentarily.
Alright, so the weather's cleared up, so we can move ahead. That said, it sounds like our puppy is also caught up with us while we're smoking. Does seem like a tough little guy, friendly as well. So what do you say? Let's go ahead and bring him back to Mother Base. Go ahead and pass Fulton. And there he goes. Alright, so we'll move on ahead now. There's Quiet, providing cover for us.
You have arrived at your destination.
And it looks like we have some heavily armored enemies here. Very well equipped, which means that our tranquilizer rounds will have absolutely no effect on these guys. We'll have to try something else. That said, he's standing next to a cliff, which means we can try something kind of creative. Alright, so that worked out nicely. That said, it looks like his buddy did notice. Let's make our approach here. And try out one of our new items to take this guy out. It's called the Stun Arm, which is an augmentation to Snake's prosthetic arm that we can use to deliver an electric charge to an enemy through his armor and knock him out.
Target on board. Leave the rest to us.
And it looks like Quiet has spotted another enemy for us. And in this case, it looks like it may actually be our mission target. And by the way he's being abused, he could get executed at any time. Let's hurry up and take these guys out quickly.
Take aim.
We'll order Quiet to take out the guy on the left, while we go for the guy on the right. And take them out simultaneously. Right, and there's our target. Some people may recognize him. This is actually Jackie, one of our level designers, and the one who happens to be at the controls of this gameplay presentation. Fortunately, he just can't seem to stay out of trouble, but we'll go ahead and rescue him one more time. Let's hook up the Fulton and send him on his way. Oh yeah, that's bad. Looks like he got spotted by an enemy sniper who managed to shoot down his balloon. And Quiet took him out with a nice shot there. Not before his friends noticed, so we're gonna have to fight our way out now. Quiet's doing a good job of providing cover, but we have more enemies coming out from the outpost up ahead. So let's go ahead and see if we can slow them down. Alright, that should buy us some time. So let's go ahead and get Jackie out of here. Okay, so our target's safely out. Now all we gotta do is vacate the hot zone. Alright, once again, Quiet kicking some ass. got us covered. Let's go ahead and make our way across the bridge and see if we can escape. Alright, we got more reinforcements here. Let's see if we can try using some decoys to keep these guys busy. Buy us some time. Take these guys out. Another nice shot there by Quiet. But more reinforcements. We'll have to fall back here, try to find an alternate route. And it looks like we are at a dead end here. Let's just take cover. Got more enemies coming down the slope. That said, do notice there's dry grass here, which means we can use that to our advantage by throwing some patrol bombs. So that bought us some time. Let's go ahead and use this window of opportunity to call in our helicopter. And that is not our helicopter, that's actually an enemy, so let's take some cover here. Unfortunately, we missed with our grenade launcher, and small arms fire won't do much good against a helicopter like this. So we'll just have to lay low for a little bit. We're pinned down here with no ammo in our grenade launcher, so we're going to have to try something a little creative. Try to make do with what we have, so we'll select a hand grenade and have Quiet help us out. Alright, that actually worked nicely. I just gotta get out of here quick.
This is Morpho, arriving shortly at LZ.
Morpho's incoming, so we'll just make a run for it. Quiet, going up ahead, providing cover.
This is Morpho, on station at LZ.
And there's our chopper. Let's just get on and escape. Right, looks like we've escaped the hot zone. So mission accomplished. Good job. That concludes our Tokyo Game Show 2014 special presentation of Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to more announcements coming soon, and thank you for watching. Up to this point, we've Fulton people, sent them back to Mother Base. Also, if you've played Peace Walker, you're familiar with the Mother Base system. But in Phantom Pain, Mother Base is actually a physical location that you can visit. And that's what you see on the screen right here. So this Mother Base is an example of Mother Base that's been built up quite a bit. When you first start out, Mother Base is just a small platform, and you slowly build it up as you gather resources and build new platforms. The cool thing about Mother Base is that everyone's Mother Base will be unique, because depending on how you decide to spend your resources, the shape and size of Mother Base will vary. So gathering resources, building up your Mother Base, and showing off to your friends is part of the fun of Phantom Pain. We hope you look forward to that. Alright, so this big platform you see here is the primary platform in our base, so we'll go ahead and make our approach. And we can now actually disembark from the helicopter and give you a personalized tour of Mother Base. You see your men do salute you as you approach. You are, of course, their commander. You're a big boss. These are your men, your diamond dogs. And this is your base. So let's take a moment to take it all in. Just get a sense of the scale of it all. And just remember that you, the player, will be creating all of this. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, we see our friends, the sheep, as well as Jackie, have made it back to base safely.
Thank you, boss.
And they seem to be getting along nicely. So we'll let them be. Now here we are in the interior of Mother Base. I'll give you another view of it here. You can hear gunfire in the background as well. That is from the shooting range. While you're out in your missions, your men may be engaged in missions of their own, or they may be back here at Mother Base engaged in training, such as the shooting range. You can also train with them if you like. You can actually spar with them, practice some CQC, which will help raise your ability as well as theirs. But we won't do that for today. We'll just go ahead and move on up to give you a better view of the base. Alright, and up ahead you see an anti-aircraft gun. This is an example of artillery that you can actually Fulton from the field. So while you're out on your mission, you can actually Fulton artillery and equipment like this, bring it back to Mother Base and install it here as a part of your defenses. Likewise, you see here the container that we Fultoned earlier has made it back to Mother Base safely. And the vehicle as well. So all of these things that you Fulton, whether it be personnel, vehicles, or resources, get sent back to Mother Base, and resources will add to your GMP, which you can use to upgrade Mother Base and expand it by building new platforms. So here's a platform currently under construction, so this will be available in the near future. And another thing you can spend your GMP on is upgrading your security. And this UAV here is one example of that, so these guys will keep your base safe while you're out on your missions. Alright, and we see here a familiar face. So Ocelot, saying hi. So unique characters such as Ocelot will also be scattered around Mother Base, and you can actually interact with them as well. Now it's started to rain. Once again, this is an example of the dynamic weather in Phantom Pain, and the weather will change not only during your missions, but also while you're back at Mother Base.
All fire teams, this is CP. We're under attack. All units to combat position.
Alright, now something's going on. Let's see if we can take a look. There seems to be some sort of alarm, and people are running off to combat positions. So let's do the same.
This is Morpho, arriving shortly at LZ.
Morpho's incoming, so let's go ahead and rendezvous with them. Notice also that Jackie is taking a bunch of shortcuts here. That is because it's his Mother Base. Every player will have their own unique Mother Base and know how to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. Alright, so we're back on the main platform now. We'll rendezvous with Morpho. And head into battle. So as you can gather from the alarm, your base in the Phantom Pain can be attacked. So Mother Base does not only provide support to you while you're in the field, but all of the allies and enemies that you make while you're in your missions or online will also come back and affect you here at Mother Base, and it's all one endless cycle in the Phantom Pain.
Alright, back at E3 we introduced Mother Base as your central base of operations. And you'll notice that the base we're at now looks similar, but there are some differences. For one thing, you'll notice that this is not the Diamond Dogs logo. We're actually at another player's forward operating base at the moment. During our E3 demo, we stopped at a point when your mother base was being attacked. But this time we're turning things around to get revenge on that player by infiltrating their base. So let's go ahead and mark some targets. And move on in. Oops. Actually, it looks like we have a gun camera here. In addition to normal security cameras, players can also develop and install automated gun cameras, such as this one. As players build up their resources, expand their base, and invest in research, increasingly powerful weapons and security systems become available. And it looks like this player has invested quite a bit in beefing up their security, so we'll need to be careful. These devices here look suspicious as well. Most likely infrared laser sensors. So we'll have to take a detour. Let's take the high road instead. Alright, it sounds like an enemy, so we'll stay low here. Stay out of sight. Take this guy out. Okay, it looks like this player has gathered various resources here, but before we do anything else, let's go ahead and neutralize these guards.
Wait! Don't shoot! Get down.
In addition to resources, it looks like this guy has also got some pretty nice equipment, which will come in handy for our own defenses. So let's go ahead and grab these first. And we'll also take this guy. By filtering soldiers from other players, it's possible to convince them to defect and join your army. Alright, so we'll go ahead and reclaim this stolen property, along with a bit of interest while we're at it. At front operating bases such as this, players can compete and steal resources from one another. In order to protect your resources, you'll need to gather staff, assign security patrols, develop security systems, and invest in developing new platforms. The more platforms you build, the greater the distance that enemies will need to traverse in order to reach their goal, making infiltration more difficult. It's a different type of battle from the main missions, but critical to ensuring the survival and success of Diamond Dogs. Right, so we see our target off on another platform. So let's climb on down and make our way there. And to help us bypass security, we'll go ahead and use our Phantom Cigar.
Some will set shortly. Sun will rise momentarily. Sun will set shortly.
Alright, now that we have the cover of darkness on our side, let's go ahead and make our way to the other platform. Looks like we have a UAV here. So let's quietly take it out. Otherwise, the coast looks clear. So let's make a run for it. Whoops, it looks like we got hit by something. And it's actually the other player. Looks like they've noticed our infiltration into their base and has come to stop us. So that means, unfortunately, our stealth mission was a failure.
Thermals! Clear. Seize her! Fire! Miller! She saved the boss.
She was saving herself. Fire! Put her in the cell. Boss.
Keep an eye on her.
Right. Take her away. What are you waiting for? Move!
Boss, you are going to regret this. That woman...
I know. She knows our location. Either way, one of these days we're gonna have to kill her. But now is not the time. When the time comes, I'll pull the trigger.
Come back!
This
is the dog you brought back. Bit of a troublemaker. Not sure about the breed, though.
will get bigger?
Uh-huh. Like this. You know, I can look after him. He's still a pup, so he doesn't listen. I have a feeling someday he'll be useful. I suspect you discovered a real diamond in the rough. With a little polish, I say we got a true diamond dog on our hands.
DD, right? Hostile at raising hounds. Fine.
Dee-Dee, stay.
Dee-Dee.
Fully trained and ready for action. The rest is up to you. Dee-Dee, go! He's going with you.
Hello everyone and welcome to this Gamescom 2015 presentation of Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. Today, with just about a month left until launch, we want to reveal some of the specifics of developing Snake's new mother base and how you can manage Diamond Dogs to develop new equipment and abilities to support you while in the field. We'll also introduce you to the game's massively multiplayer mode, the FOB system. What you see here is Snake's new mother base, home of his new military force, the Diamond Dogs. As you gather personnel and resources, you can expand the base, which will in turn allow Diamond Dogs to support you in the field. If you meet the proper requirements, you can issue orders to develop various types of weapons or items, get field support in the form of intel or supply drops, or first aid and medical treatment. All of these support features are enabled and managed through the development of Mother Base. For those who want to manage every aspect of your army, you can handpick assignments for your various units, but if you prefer, you may also leave these in the hands of Miller to make assignments as he sees fit. How deeply you're involved in the day-to-day management of the base will depend on your personal preference and playstyle. In addition to the management of Mother Base, there are also related activities and a few new surprises, so keep on watching. To begin, we'll introduce you to the primary sectors that correspond to the various units on Mother Base. Then we'll show you each sector, brief you in their operation, and explain how you can expand and level up each facility to strengthen your various units.
Start bringing people in. Use this. It's a Fulton recovery device.
Alright, we have our Fulton, so let's move on. We'll begin by giving you a tour of Mother Base. As we've introduced previously, you can freely walk around Mother Base. Right now, we're on the command platform, the center of your base and the heart of Diamond Dogs. By expanding this platform, you can enable more staff to join your army. But it's up to you, as the player, to actually recruit the right people into your army by locating and Fultoning highly skilled personnel from the field. Recruits can be culled from the ranks of enemy soldiers who you manage to capture, or they may be POWs or volunteers who are attracted to your army due to your reputation. New recruits are automatically sorted into units that best suit their particular abilities. However, players can opt to reassign staff as they see fit. Since Mother Base in the Phantom Pain is an actual physical location, you can also interact with the soldiers that you Fultoned once they join Diamond Dogs. As you gather more staff, things will get crowded at base, and at a certain point, you'll reach a limit. Once that happens, you'll need to invest in expanding Mother Base to facilitate more staff. Aside from the command platform, which serves as the hub of your base, you can also build specialized platforms for each of your units. So let's give that a try and begin by constructing an R&D platform.
Commencing platform
This is your base. You can choose which platforms to prioritize, along with the location of your platforms, and can customize other elements such as color. As such, every player's Mother Base will be unique. This is the R&D platform. It's connected to the command center by a bridge and is an example of the spoke design of Mother Base. This platform houses the R&D team who work around the clock to develop new weapons and items based on your orders. The proper weapons and items are invaluable as you proceed through the game, so it's wise to invest properly in R&D. New projects will be added to the development list based on the level of your R&D team and the actions you perform during your missions. Examples include various types of firearms, along with more powerful weapons such as missiles. And other more specialized items as well. Invest in the equipment that best suits your mission and playstyle. Alright, and it looks like it's started to rain. As we've introduced previously, the weather at Mother Base is dynamic, as with other environments of the game, and will change randomly. Let's head downstairs and see if we can head indoors to escape the rain. Alright, and what you see here is Huey's private lab. It's here that he'll develop new types of robotic technology, and you can see an example of that here. But we don't want to ruin all of the surprises, so let's introduce the next team. Next up is the combat unit. The combat unit is comprised of autonomous fire teams capable of completing a variety of tasks. You can take advantage of them by deploying them on dispatch missions. If they succeed, they'll reap various rewards as outlined in the dispatch mission list. However, there's also a chance of failure, so be sure to select missions that match the team's skill level. Note that certain dispatch missions will also resonate with Snake's solo missions, making things a little easier for you while in the field.
Unit dispatched.
If you feel like it, you can also send members of the combat unit out on missions in place of Snake as the playable character. This can be to your advantage sometimes, as some staff members possess specialized skills that are useful in the field. For example, a soldier with the botanist skill will have an easier time identifying and gathering plants and herbs. It's good to keep this in mind if you're having a hard time fulfilling a specific mission objective. Alright, and here we are on the support platform. This is the section of Mother Base that houses your support team. The support team, as their name implies, provides various forms of backup and support for Snake while you're out in the front lines.
Supply drop complete.
Support can come in many forms, including the delivery of supply drops containing weapons or ammo, or even vehicles. The support team can also provide backup in the form of airstrikes, diversions, and cover fire. The better your support team is, the faster they'll be able to assemble and support you in the area of operations. But flying choppers to the front lines isn't free, so be sure to keep an eye on your GMP to keep from going to the red. Level up your support team enough, and they can even develop techniques to manipulate the weather. With capabilities such as this, you're able to turn the very environment against the enemy and use it to your advantage. Now we could go on and introduce other units within Diamond Dogs, such as the intel team and medical teams. We'll let you discover those capabilities in-game on your own. In the meantime, we'll introduce you to some other unique features of Mother Base itself.
Shortly.
Mother Base is a physical location inhabited by various characters, and as such, there are various events and encounters that you can experience between your missions. Today, we'll show you just a few examples. First of all, staff you've recruited into Diamond Dogs will salute you as you approach. Meeting your men face to face like this will raise their morale, it's a good idea to periodically return to base to maintain health morale among the staff. As you wander around Mother Base, you may also discover surprises from time to time. For example, raw diamonds, such as this, which will add to your GMP. Now, why are there raw diamonds scattered around Mother Base? Did they fall out from containers? We may never know for sure, but it'd be a shame to let them go to waste, so be sure to explore thoroughly. And hey, it's D-Dog, or DD as Ocelot calls him. He's still a puppy here, but eventually he'll grow into an adult and become a valuable buddy that you can bring into the battlefield with you.
Just once. I want to touch his spot. Yeah, wait, what? You don't want to touch him too?
No, that, never really occurred to me.
You don't know the awesomeness of a puppy.
You can also eavesdrop on conversations at Mother Base from time to time.
But yeah, I bet they would feel nice.
Right?
Some information will be useful, some not so much. Let's move on. And as you can see here, Mother Base also features portable showers on deck, so you can quickly shower off between missions. This helps to wash away the blood and fatigue, so that you can jump back into the field refreshed and ready for action. Forgo a shower for too long and it will actually have adverse effects on your performance and the way that other characters interact with you. So be sure to head back here every once in a while to wash away the stress, along with the smell. Their shower is conveniently located near the primary heliport on each platform in Mother Base. Flies buzzing around your head is never a good sign. If you neglect your hygiene for too long, well, you can expect your staff to kindly give you a hint. And in certain cases, maybe even lend you a hand.
Snake, you stink.
Alright, so we're cleaned up and ready to go. And, looks like someone put a poster here. Aside from collectible value, posters such as this do actually have an in-game use, so let's go ahead and grab it. What kind of use exactly? Well, we'll let you figure that out on your own. One other thing we've hinted at previously is the ability to train on Mother Base. Target practice trials such as this are a handy way to familiarize yourself with new weapons while exploring various parts of Mother Base and earning rewards in the process. Each area of Mother Base has its own unique target trials, so discovering all of them is half the fun. Finally, never forget that you're responsible for Diamond Dogs, and that all of your actions, or lack of action, will affect the organization. In the Phantom Pain, drama unfolds not just during your missions, but also between your missions back at Mother Base.
Pretty good.
Keep this in mind and make a conscious effort to monitor your army. Miller and Ocelot will do their best while you're out, but Diamond Dogs consists of soldiers from all backgrounds, and occasional conflicts may occur. It's up to you, as the leader of Diamond Dogs, to restore order and keep things running smoothly. Sure to head back to base often and be a proper leader to your men.
Kill that son of a bitch! Kill!
Also keep in mind that how you grow Mother Base is up to you. Add personal touches such as custom emblems or color schemes, and expand Mother Base in the way that best supports your playstyle. As your army grows, you will eventually be able to expand beyond Mother Base and establish forward operating bases, or FOBs, allowing you to support more men and refine more resources. In gameplay terms, they function as an optional online version of Mother Base, with all of the same customization features. As your presence online, FOBs allow you to stake your claim on the world stage. Every player's FOB will be unique, and their development will complement Mother Base by funneling increased profit, resources, and manpower to Diamond Dogs.
In addition, FOBs in certain geographic locations can be used to autonomously mine resources, further accelerating development. However, building an FOB does come with certain risks.
Boss, we've got intruders on our FOB. Get back to Mother Base as soon as you can.
Boss! Damn it! This is our home. How can we let this happen? Guess it's time to increase security. Just give me the order.
Who did this?
A competitor. But we don't know who. Can't pin down a route to their base. But we're ready to strike back. Just give us that chance, boss.
Since FOBs are built in remote online locations away from Mother Base, they are susceptible to attack by rival PFs. Other private forces, players online, may target and attempt to steal resources or manpower from your FOB. To minimize this threat, you'll need to implement security measures and respond quickly to intrusions. To begin with, artillery that you Fulton during your missions can be sent back and installed as defenses on your FOB. Note that you can remotely issue orders to Mother Base while on the field by using your iDroid, without heading back to base. You can manage security settings and develop security devices, such as UAV drones, to defend your base. Once development is complete, you can assign drones to patrol platforms on your FOB and engage enemies. Here we can see the security settings for each platform. You can choose to manage basic security presets or customize all of the detailed settings. In either case, security isn't free, so aim to balance defense level and cost based on your GMP. Red icons indicate activities of an intruder, and you can analyze their route and plan your defenses accordingly. However, in the event of an active intrusion, you may also return to base and handle things personally. And there we go. FOB invasions can happen at any time, even during missions. For the purposes of today's demo, let's head back and teach this guy a lesson. Do note that while FOB does feature PvP gameplay, it is different from MGO. Whereas MGO pits groups of soldiers against one another, the action in FOB is one-on-one, with the primary focus being on the massively multiplayer metagame experience of pitting your army against rivals from around the world. Okay, so here we are at our FOB. The first order of business is to locate the intruder. Note we could use Snake for this, but for today's demonstration, we'll stick with our currently selected soldier. Our security team is already responding to the intruder, so let's check their status. You see the location of our security forces and the incursion point in the bottom right. Let's start by looking there. Alright, scoping out the area. There's one of our drones. Conditions look normal. In times like this, coordinating with your intel team is key. So opening up our map, you'll see a red circle that indicates the enemy's predicted field of movement. So let's check there. And it looks like something's happening here. Looks like the enemy has got one of our men and is Fultoning them out. So let's put a stop to that. Okay, we couldn't save the soldier, but we managed to save the container. Now let's head down there and stop him before he can do more damage. Alright, reflex mode indicates that one of our men has spotted the intruder. He's marked now, so this is our chance. And it looks like our men have him on the run, so let's catch up and finish him. Alright, there he is. That's the intruder. That said, he's critically injured some of our staff, and if we don't tend to them, he may die. So let's Fulton them out to safety before moving on. And I believe this is the first time we're showing this. This is actually an upgraded version of the Fulton device that we call the wormhole extraction device. Unlike a Fulton balloon, it can't be shot down, making it much more reliable. And it looks like our drone has entered alert mode, so let's give chase in that direction. In the meantime, let's take a look at things from the enemy's perspective. Now that his cover has been blown and the defender has entered the fray, he has to be extremely careful. To help remedy the situation, he's using Noctocyanin to temporarily enhance his senses and instantly mark nearby enemies, before laying some gas mines. Meanwhile, as the Defender is busy rescuing more of his comrades, we see a container floating into view, and another with the Invader on top. The Defender manages to shoot down the Fulton and give chase, but it turns out that the lower level is filled with sleeping gas, and the Defender is incapacitated. The container trick was a decoy. While the Defender is asleep, the Invader is making a run towards the center of the base, and he's now dangerously close to the goal, at which point he'll escape with a good portion of our staff. The Defender will need to act quickly to prevent that from happening. And the Defender has finally woken up, but he's lost sight of the enemy and will need to start searching again. Meanwhile, the Invader is using a subdeck to cross the bridge. Security here is light, and he only has 2 more platforms to go before reaching the platform core. Taking a moment to check his iDroid, you'll note the goal up ahead in yellow, and the red circle, which indicates the Defender's position. The Defender has a lot of ground to cover, and he doesn't know the intruder's position, so things are not looking very good for the home team. Moving on, it looks like the Defender has installed infrared sensors, in addition to a security camera here. The Invader successfully disables them, but instead of moving forward, he actually turns around and heads back in the opposite direction. Turns out that destroying the security hardware was a ruse to lure security to investigate as he sneaks around from the opposite side of the platform. The defending side no longer has a mark on the intruder, so all they can do is respond to threats as they evolve. And once again, the intruder uses Noctocyanin to confirm that the coast is clear before moving on. From the Defender's point of view, you can see the soldier going to investigate the broken camera as the intruder continues his approach. He just has a little more to go before reaching the core platform. The Defender is in pursuit, but still has no real fix on the intruder's location. At this point, the Invader could be anywhere, so the Defender wisely climbs up a nearby ladder to get a higher vantage point. Scoping out the area, there are no immediate signs of an intruder, but the red circle on our map indicates possible enemy activity, so let's take a look in that area. And it looks like one of our guys has spotted him, and wait, something weird just happened there. Our guard just vanished. What is going on? Let's rewind a bit and see that again from the intruder's perspective. Looking at things from the intruder's point of view, we now see what's actually happening. He's using the Hand of Jehudi, a powerful weapon that can pull enemies from a distance, instantly transporting them within reach of CQC. And the battle cry might sound familiar too. Back to the Defender's screen, we see a Fulton, which he successfully shoots down. And there's the intruder. Alright, we finally got another mark on him, so don't let him escape. Hold on a sec, was that a cardboard box? Let's check it out. Oh, but no, it was a trap. Smoke cardboard box. And to top it off, the intruder's behind the Defender with the Hand of Jehudi. Not good. The Defender is down, and the intruder has total control here. And there goes the Defender. The Defender's security forces are doing their best, but this guy is really good. He even dodged a rocket. If he gets to the platform core, it's over. So let's select a different character and redeploy as quickly as we can. First of all, we'll select a character, choose someone whose stats look up to the challenge, along with some good firepower. And last but not least, let's select a good spawn point. Alright, there we are, ready to go. Okay, and the intruder is getting dangerously close to the core, so let's take a shortcut and go directly to his location. Remember, this is the defender's home turf, so we do have the advantage in terms of knowing the layout of the base. It's not unusual to know a few shortcuts. And there's the intruder, so let's get him from behind. He's skilled in the firefight, so let's avoid direct confrontation and set a trap instead. We'll try a decoy capable of discharging a blast of electricity. Nice throw, now a couple shots to get his attention, and good job, the trap worked. Intruder is down, now all we need to do is get down there and Fulton him. If we can extract him, we win. And there we go. Defense wins.
Defense successful. Victory is ours.
The intruder was successfully spotted and blocked by the defending player. Note that whenever the defending side IDs the intruder's FOB is identified too. So if you choose, it's now possible for the defender to strike back at the intruder by infiltrating their base and stealing back what was taken. That said, you don't need to retaliate if you don't want to. As you've seen, attacks on FOBs are unpredictable, and some intruders may be extremely skilled. Today we were around to counter the intruder directly, but that may not always be the case. Therefore, it's wise to invest properly in security devices and guards so that they can defend your FOB when you're not around. Alternatively, if you have friends online, it's also possible to request help from other players to repel an attack. Every FOB is unique, and every player will have different security settings, so from the invader's point of view, it's like having an infinite number of unique enemy compounds to infiltrate, but strategy and care must be taken to ensure success. And as always, infiltrating undetected is your best bet. Rewards for infiltrating an FOB will scale depending on how heavily fortified the base is. And on one final note, FOBs are not required. You can clear the game without them, and if you prefer to keep your experience offline, that's perfectly fine. But for players who want to accelerate development and prove their worth to the world, by all means, give it a try. In the greater scheme of things, it's Mother Base that will have the most impact on your success. The bigger and more powerful your Mother Base, the closer you'll be to achieving your ultimate goal. That said, once your base surpasses a certain size, simply moving between platforms can become quite a task. Sometimes it's nice to drive and enjoy the scenery, but when you want to save time, you can take advantage of Mother Base's highly efficient cargo delivery system. Simply locate a cargo delivery point, pack yourself in a cardboard box, and choose a destination.
A delivery point.
The rest will be taken care of by the Diamond Dogs Postal Service. A few moments later, and we've arrived at our destination. Of course, each platform is also equipped with at least one helipad, so you could choose to fly by helicopter if you prefer. Honestly, it feels pretty damn good to get a bird's eye view of the base and admire the fruits of your labor every once in a while. So let's put on some music for the trip. In this case, Take On Me by Aha. Then let's climb aboard and choose a destination. Notice that there are platforms such as the Animal Conservation Platform which are isolated and only accessible by chopper. It's here that you can visit all the various animals that you've recovered in the field. And we're off. Note that there are still many other things to explore in Mother Base. More teams, more platforms, more options. We will let you discover those details in-game. The takeaway from this presentation is that missions in TPP are important, but growing Mother Base is every bit as important. Mother Base is your home, and expanding it opens up more options in the field in the form of items, weapons, and support. In turn, clearing missions and recovering resources and personnel enables Diamond Dogs to grow. The Fulton is your friend. When on missions, make it a priority to recover personnel, weapons, and resources. Or additional tapes, like this one. Joy Division's Love Will Tear Us Apart. Now where was I? Oh, right.
So grow Mother Base, and when you're ready to expand even further, invest in forward operating bases. Just keep in mind that FOBs will expose you to interaction with other players. Some of them will be allies, others will be enemies. But for those who truly want to stand out on the world stage, it's worth taking that risk. Make Diamond Dogs as strong as it can be, and you will reap the rewards.
Let us know if you need supplies, boss.
Alright, and one other thing about Mother Base. It may be your home, but don't ever let your guard down.
Let's go.
Spread out. Enemy spotted.
Take him out.
Thanks.
Enemy spotted.
Acknowledge. Cover. Roger that. Put him down.